here we go. Hello, and welcome to the Children's Farm at the Sedgwick County Zoo. We're sending a shout out to our friends at Enterprise, Gardner, Ortiz, College Hill, Black Elementary. Who else do we have in here? And EI Imagine Academy. We are excited to have you guys here today. And Clint, you're on a horse.
Hey, yeehaw, friends. I'm out here at the zoo here, Sedgwick County Zoo. We're in the farm. It's going to be an amazing little session we got for you. We are going to be feeding of the animals, and I hope you all are ready. I'm going to turn it over to my great friend, Olivia.
Everybody, so my name is Olivia, and we are going to be feeding all of the farm's animals inside of the barn. So we have all of their food right here, and so just like we have our favorite foods, the animals have their favorite foods too. And so animals, they can't eat pizza and popcorn like we like to. They get alfalfa, which is just like grass, and it's dry. So this is going to be given out to our cows. And then we have all sorts of grains over here that's going to be given to our mule.
Yum.
Okay, ready? So who I have with me here, this is one of our zookeepers. So she's actually going to be doing the feeding, and I'm just going to be talking about it.
All right, let's get started.
So our cows are very, very hungry. Some of them are already coming in to eat their lunch, and they know where to go every single day. And you can see we have one of our other zookeepers who's going to chain up all of our cows because they like to eat each other's food. So you guys don't like probably your brother or sister eating your food. Our cows have to eat their own food.
They sure look hungry, Clint.
They are super hungry. They're all getting super excited.
Yeah, they do this every day. So our animals and the farms are really good at telling time. Before, all of the animals in the barn were very, very noisy because they were letting us know that it was time for them to get fed. So we'll start with this cow over here. We have Roosevelt. And she gets a very small amount of food because she is our biggest cow. And we'll move on this way. And we have Maddie here. And you guys see that Maddie has some very long hair. She is a special kind of cow called a Highland Cow. And I think she is just the cutest thing. And then over here are one of our white cows. We have Tiger Lily. Tiger Lily was actually born at the zoo. I think she is about 3 or 4 years old. And right next to Tiger Lily, we have her mom, Decora. And Decora is the leader of the cows. So when she is the first one to get fed, and she's just kind of the boss of everybody, of all of our cows. You can see she is trying to eat her neighbor's food. So that's a great example of why we have them chained up, because they like to eat each other's food.
All right, so there's a question of why the cows have horns.
So that's just because that's the type of cows they are. It's very noisy in here now. Our donkeys are a little bit jealous that they haven't gotten their food yet. But that's just the type of cows they are. Some of the types of cows we have here have horns, and then we have one breed of cow, the shorthorn, that does not grow horns. But the rest of our cows do grow horns.
Is this big guy getting anything over
here?
here?
Yes, we fed both of our pigs. So the pig we have right here is Popeye, and Popeye weighs about 600 pounds. So he's getting some grain right now. And next door we have Popeye's girlfriend, and her name is Olive, and she also got some grain as well. They got fed first because they are very, very noisy animals and will keep yelling at us until we give them their lunch. So we fed them first. Are you ready for donkeys?
We are ready.
Okay, so the next animals we're gonna feed are our donkeys, and then our horse, and then our mule. So today is actually kind of a fun day. So this is the first day we're gonna try and feed our donkeys in the bowl to see if they're gonna be not as messy. So we'll see how that works out the rest of the feeding.
You said the donkeys are messy eaters. What do they do?
So normally they get fed on the floor and we just throw the hay out there, and then they kind of tear it up and just throw it everywhere. So today we're trying out something different just to see if the bowl will help keep the mess a lot smaller. So we'll see how that works out. The type of donkeys we have are called Poitu Donkeys. They're actually an endangered species of donkeys. So we have two. We have Papillon, so she does not have, no, we have Papillon, who has that really long hair, and then we have Pamina, who does not have that long hair. It looks like they're still making a little bit of a mess, but we'll see how it goes as they finish eating their food. And the next animal we're gonna feed is a farm's favorite. We have Shasta right here. She is our American cream draft horse, and she loves her food so much. You can see she is up there ready to get her food from Gabby.
What kind of food does this horse get?
She gets a cup and a half of senior equine, which is a special grain that's formulated for older horses to keep their joints healthy and just help them keep on some weight. So it smells really sweet, actually. It kind of smells like molasses. So it probably tastes really good for them.
So a cup and a half doesn't seem like a huge amount for this size of a horse.
It is not. She is on a diet. So she is nice and chunky, which she processes her food really well. So she keeps her weight up just eating hay. Our mule, you can see here, she gets a lot more food. But our mule is also 12 years older than Shasta. So she has a much harder time keeping the weight on, especially in the wintertime. And the more weight you have on, the warmer you stay. So we try to keep her nice and well fed so that she stays warm all winter.
All right.
And she's ready for it.
Yep, so our mule's name is Banshee. And she looks like she is ready to get her lunch.
Some of it's wet and some of it's dry. She likes it all the same.
So we were at the commissary earlier and they showed us all the food. Is this where all this comes from as well?
Yes, we order all of our food. We give our orders to the commissary, and then they order it all to us, and then they are awesome, and they come and deliver it to us.
Kids, this one is hungry.
And what's unique about this particular horse? Notice the hair's not as long, or like what are some characteristics of this horse?
So she is actually a mule, so that means her mom was a horse and her dad was a donkey. And she is a very large mule. Normally mules are not this big. That's because her mom was a draft horse, which is a very, very big horse, and then her dad was a mammoth jack donkey, which is also a very large donkey. So she has 2 large parents. So she is a really big mule. They are not normally this big. And so mules used to actually work on the farm, like they used to be like tractors or like a plow. So that was a long time ago. Lots of people don't use mules like that anymore. So she's a really good example of what you, in a long time ago, that you might have seen a mule working, because she's super strong because she is just so big. So she'd be able to pull a lot of machinery. But now we have tractors, so people don't normally use animals like that anymore.
So what kind of treats do they get? Any special treats?
They sometimes get special treats. A lot of the times we'll give them some sort of produce. So that means vegetables like lettuce, or maybe some fruits like some apples, or we also give them like carrots, and they really enjoy those extra snacks. Sometimes they also get human food, which I know I said earlier, our animals, they don't get pizza or, well, sometimes they get popcorn. Some days, but so
No
all,
butter.
yeah,
No
no
butter.
butter on the popcorn. It's special popcorn that we have in our keeper kitchen. And they get like pasta and cereal, but all of this stuff is actually approved by the vets. So the vets tell us what food, human food, that they can or can't get. We have a wide variety, like pasta and cereal, Jello. Sometimes they get Kool-Aid, pudding, baby food. They get all sorts of things. And this is the same for all animals out in the zoo. Some of the animals can get human food as well, but it all has to be approved by the vets, and it's every once in a while. It's not every day. So if we had ice cream every day, that would probably really hurt our tummies. So these animals, they only get those special treats every once in a while.
Nice.
So there's a question of, what is Banshee's favorite food?
Do you know what? Her favorite food is carrots.
She loves carrots. We would welcome any more questions you have as well. Please, if you have any questions as a class or individually, throw those in the Q&A. And Lalela Miller, I love horses too. Shout out to you. And shout out to Mrs. Compton's class at EI Academy today. We're going to walk over and we're going to go see how these animals over here are doing. So we're back to seeing the started with, and they are all still going to town.
Now, are they only fed once a day, or are they fed in the morning and the afternoon?
So this is the only time while they're on exhibit that they get fed. They actually have a night pasture where they spend, which is like their bedroom, and they have dinner and breakfast out there. So this is just their lunch. And then we have in their pasture, we have lots of hay for them to eat whenever they get hungry, maybe need a midnight snack while they're sleeping.
So we have a question of, what specifically are the cows eating?
They are getting alfalfa.
Let's say that one more time. It cut out. One more time.
They're eating alfalfa.
And do you grow that on site, or is that all brought in?
So it is all brought in. We have lots of people that we buy from. So we don't grow our alfalfa here. Yeah, it is sourced locally.
It's locally sourced alfalfa.
So there's questions about you two as keepers. What are your favorite animals?
You want to go first, Gab?
My favorite animals in the farms are actually some of our baby goats and our baby lambs. This was my first year here in the farms when we had all of our babies born this spring. And I got to name 3 of the babies. We only have 1 left here. 2 others went to another farm, so they could be mommies and daddies there when they grow up. But we do have 1 little lamb over in our sheep yard. His name is Grizzly, and I love him a lot. But those are our pigs squabbling over their lunch. I do really enjoy the pigs, actually. I spend a lot of time here in the barn by myself in the evening time cleaning, and the pigs are the only animals that stay behind. So the pigs and I spend a lot of quality time together.
And pigs are extremely intelligent animals, is that correct?
Yes, they both know their names. So usually in the evening time, they'll be sleeping, and I'll come in to clean. So I'll ask them to go outside, and I'll call their names, and usually they wake up kind of out of a start, and then they immediately go outside usually. Sometimes I'll give them an apple or some sort of treat to reward them for going outside. But they are very smart and very sweet. Very big.
Yes, very, very big.
You don't want your toesies stepped on by those guys.
Olivia, what's your favorite?
My favorite animal are the goats. Those are the animals I started out working with. I know them very, very well. I spend a lot of time in the goat yard hanging out in there. So I get to see all of their personalities. So the goats are probably my favorite, but I do have a favorite cow, and that is Maddie. I just think she's the cutest little thing. She's our Highland cow. So the goats and Maddie, the Highland cow, they're my favorites. Yep, she is very messy. She has some alfalfa that she's thrown right here. If you look down, she threw out some of her alfalfa down there. It's all on the barn floor. She's very, very messy. So there's some right here, there's some down here. She's very, very messy, but we still love her.
Do you think we could go meet some of your goats?
I think we can. Can I go back way? Yeah. Okay. So we have lots of goats at the zoo. Do you know how many we have?
Ooh,
It's putting you on the spot.
Close to 40.
So we have close to 40 goats. So we do have mommies and daddies here and babies.
Kristen, what's your favorite animal here at the farm?
The horse is my favorite. I grew up with horses, so I'm pretty fond of them.
Love it.
Yep, we'll keep walking this way.
And there's a first grade class who's studying about light, and they are very curious to know if the light keeps the animals up when they're inside the barn.
That's a good question. I don't think the light bothers them too much. We'll have to go around the back way to actually go inside, but you guys can see some of our goats. They look very, very hungry right now.
Goats just like to make the whole place their own, don't they?
Yes.
Well, let's, do we get to go in there? And
Yes, we will get to go inside. We'll have to go on the back road and go in, but we have lots of very fun goats in here. Oh. Thanks. I'll give it back to you later.
we're going to go get you up close with the goats.
Oh, and actually my favorite goat is right up front. So the goat that's up front, her name is Khaleesi. Oh, and you see she actually knows her name. When I said it, she looked at me. Okay, thanks.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at
that's
the
good.
baby.
She just gave it to me. Oh, so this is one of our babies from that was born this year. This is Juniper, and she is about 5 months old. She loves people, so you might see her open her mouth and yell because she just really loves to be around people.
So tell us about the breed of goats you have.
So we have Arapawa island goats, which is actually an endangered breed of goats. So they live in the wild on an island called Arapawa Island, but they became endangered on the island. So they are just a super, super endangered breed of goats. I think there is about 200 to 300 left in the world. We have quite a few at the zoo. We have a very, very successful breeding program. So we have lots of babies every spring. I'm actually here with one of the mamas. This is Licorice. She has had 4 babies at the zoo. We do have one of her babies from 2 years ago here. I don't know where she's at right now. Our goats are all over the place right now.
Let's go meet some more of them.
Yes, but we have lots of goats here. We also have still lots of our babies from this year.
They're very curious animals. And if you've never been out here, you can come feed these goats. What is this one's name?
This is JK. She is one of our mamas in here also.
Solid beard on that one.
Yep, so all of the goats in here are girls. And you guys can see that the girls also have beards and horns.
These are all girls in here?
Yes, they are all girls in here. We keep our boys separate because the boys, they like to pee on themselves, so they're very stinky and gross. Hi, Kiwi.
Hey there.
So this is Kiwi. She's kind of the leader of all the goats. So if you come to the zoo and you feed the goats, she's probably the goat that's going to be headbutting all of the other goats out of the way to get those snacks because she loves them so much. She loves her food, and so she always has to be the one getting the snacks.
This one's trying to eat the fence over here. So what do goats eat on a daily basis?
So we feed them alfalfa and grain. We actually, looks like they left some of their breakfast down here. So they get fed in the morning. So this is just the same thing that was fed to the cows. Yeah, did you not know it was under there, Kiwi? There you go. I'll leave it on the table for her to eat if she wants to. And just like I said earlier, sometimes these guys get those special treats too. Sometimes they get those apples or that lettuce or maybe even some pasta or cereal. Look, it's right there. Do you want some?
So how many goats total are at the farm?
We have around 40, but I want to say about 7 of those or more now. So probably around 15. We have 15 boys. So they're all out in their pasture. Sometimes you can see them if you walk by, but most of the time they're way out there. So that means we have like 20,
About 25.
25 in the yard. So we have 25 girls and about 15 boys.
And
So,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I have just been told that goats are kind of more like dogs, are very personable, whereas sheep are more like cats and not as personable. Is that true?
That is pretty true.
Pretty general.
The sheep tend to stay more to themselves. The goats have, they're just a lot easier at showing their personalities. They have a lot larger personalities, where the sheep, they just kind of hang out, take naps, but the goats will be all up in your business. They want to be pets.
And the sheep always want to be with other sheep. They don't really they'd rather be with another sheep than with a person. They tend to be a little more skittish too, the loud noises. When there's a loud noise, a goat will investigate. But when there's a loud noise, a sheep will run away.
We got some feeding going on over here.
Yep, so we have, the mom's name is JK, and then her baby's name is Daisy. And you can see Daisy is still getting milk from mom. So Daisy is about 3 months old. So she is still drinking milk from her mom. And she'll drink milk up until about 4 or 5 months old. And then we will do something called weaning, where we either will take the mom or the baby away because they're just too old to be drinking milk from their mom.
And there's a great question coming in. How long, like, what's the typical lifespan of a goat?
So the typical lifespan of a goat is about 10 to 15 years. I think our oldest goat here is 13, maybe.
Ice is turning 13. I
So-
don't know if there's a girl older than
Yeah, so we have about 13 and 12 is what we have the oldest right now. And then our youngest goat is Daisy, and she's about 3 months old.
Well,
we
we hope
still
you
wanna-
have been.
Yeah, it's time for the selfie.
Yes. So we're going to get as many goats as we can in the picture.
You want us in the picture?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And we hope you've enjoyed seeing a little bit into how these farm animals are fed and what they eat, and seeing a little bit with goats. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and have you take a selfie with your screen. And Smoke, do we have a hashtag for that?
The hashtag is EdVenture, ED Venture. And we're going to let the teachers, you go to the back of the room now, grab your phones. This is your chance to get a photo with the zookeepers up on the screen and your students. They'll just need to turn around and face you to the back of the room. All right, Clint, I think we're just about ready for that countdown.
All right, here it comes. We're going to start from 7 this time. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember hashtag EdVenture. Hope you all are having a great day. I think you can tell we're having a great day out here at the zoo, and we very much appreciate Sedgwick County Zoo. I have a goat trying to eat my camera tripod right now, so we better sign off. Have a
All
great
right,
day,
take
everyone.
care.
Bye.
Even that was perfect.